You know, there's a specific kind of silence you expect when you walk into a cemetery. It's
Mm.
heavy,
Yeah.
it's respectful, it's basically the sound of a full stop at the end of a long sentence. We go there to remember, sure, but that's where the story ended.
Right. Culturally, we view the grave as the boundary line.
Mm.
It's where the biography stops and, the history book begins. It is supposed to be static.
But, and this is a big but, we have a stack of sources today that suggest for a certain group of people that full stop, it never actually happened.
Yeah.
Instead of a period, it's like a repeat sign in sheet music.
Or maybe a bridge to a whole new section of the song.
Exactly. We are looking at a really fascinating collection of accounts today. We're talking oral histories, visitor logs, even caretaker reports, and local folklore, all centered around the grave sites of legendary Black singers.
45 of them.
45 giants of blues, jazz, R&B, and soul. And the mission for this deep dive is to figure out why these specific grave sites, well, they refuse to stay quiet.
It is a compelling data set.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear about the angle here right off the bat. We aren't just telling ghost stories to scare ourselves.
No.
This is an investigation into phenomena. We're looking at how this intense creative energy, the kind of genius that defined the American soundscape, reportedly manifests physically after the artist is gone.
And it is not subtle stuff. I mean, we aren't talking about a creaky floorboard here.
Not at all.
We have accounts of granite melting, instruments playing themselves, temperature anomalies, physical marks appearing on stone.
And whether you are a skeptic or a believer, the insight here is profound. These stories show us how a culture processes the loss of genius. When an artist gives every ounce of their soul to the public sometimes refuses to accept that the transaction is over.
So they manifest the music into the landscape itself.
And they do.
So let's walk through these gates. The first thing that hits you in these accounts is the noise, which makes sense, right? These people spent their lives making noise.
Auditory phenomena. It's the most common report, and what's so fascinating is how the sound usually mirrors the specific style of the artist. It's not generic haunting, it's brand specific.
The headliner here has to be Louis Armstrong. Satchmore.
Of course.
He's buried at Flushing Cemetery in New York. Now, if you look at the photos, he's got this majestic, upright granite tombstone. It's classy. And engraved with his trumpet.
But if you look closer at the condition of that carving, that is where the story is.
That's the controversy. Visitor accounts consistently mention that the trumpet carving is wearing away.
Significantly faster than the rest of the sound.
Yeah, the rest of the granite is fine, but the trumpet looks exhausted.
And the dominant theory isn't acid rain, it's this concept of ceaseless musical energy. The folklore suggests his spirit is physically playing that instrument.
Wow.
The idea is that the sheer pneumatic pressure of the jazz, the vibration of the high C notes he's still hitting, is literally eroding the material symbol of it.
It's like the stone can't handle the notes. It's just disintegrating under the pressure. But what I found interesting is that not every musician gets a loud grave. You look at Cab Calloway.
The Heidi-Ho man.
His career was pure chaotic energy. You'd expect his grave to be shaking.
Yet his grave at Ferncliff Cemetery is described as having an acoustically perfect stillness.
Which feels wrong for him, doesn't it?
At first glance.
Yeah.
But the sources suggest that stillness is, well, it's a vacuum. It's deceptive. Visitors report hearing a very specific anomaly, a faint, stretched, and distorted jazz echo.
Distorted is the word that stuck out to me. It's not a clear song.
No, and that's the insight. The lore suggests this is unreleased swing energy. It's as if in death, the master of rhythm finally found control, but the pressure is so high that the energy leaks out. It's not a performance, it's a release valve.
That explains the distortion. It's like spiritual physics. And speaking of the physics of sound, we have to talk about Duke Ellington.
Also at Woodlawn in New York.
But people don't hear songs there either.
No, they report hearing. Mechanics. Isolated piano key slides. Clicks. The sound of fingernails on ivory, but searching.
Just clicks. That seems so understated for the Duke.
But think about how Ellington worked. He was a composer first. The accounts describe his site as a spiritual musical laboratory. So if you hear a click, the interpretation is that he isn't replaying his greatest hits.
He's still working.
He is still working. He's searching for new chords.
That is beautiful. It implies the creative process itself is eternal. He didn't retire. He just moved his office.
Precisely. But then you have to contrast that with someone like Rosetta Tharpe, the godmother of rock and roll.
Her grave in Philadelphia is not quiet. It's not clicking.
It is screaming.
It's loud.
We have reports from caretakers, people who work there every day, claiming to hear fiery guitar sounds, like full rock gospel services erupting from the earth.
And there's a tactile element too, right?
A slight electrical discharge,
Yeah.
a static shock if you touch the stone.
Which is perfect. I mean, she was plugging in electric guitars in church decades before it was acceptable. She shocked the system then. She's shocking your hand now.
It cements her legacy. But there is a darker side to this. We have to mention Jimmy Reed in Illinois.
The blues man. This one actually, it unnerved me when I read it.
It's known as the jarring wail. Visitors report being physically jolted by a sudden harmonica sound. But it's not melodic. It's abrupt, and it's cut short.
Like a jump scare.
It symbolizes his improvisational spirit, but maybe also the chaos of the blues life. It reminds you that the blues isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it's a warning.
So we got sound. But as we go deeper into these sources, the phenomena get more visceral. It stops being about what you hear and starts being about what you feel.
This is where the barrier between the visitor and the legend gets very thin. You aren't just an observer anymore.
And we have to start with Sam Cooke. Forest Lawn, California. Tragically shot. But his grave is referred to as the Flame of Hope.
It's a fascinating contrast to the violence of his death. His stone is a simple flat slab. But the phenomena reported again and again is a surge of heat when you touch it.
Like physical warmth, even on a cold day.
That's the claim, a direct transmission of thermal energy. And his epitaph reads, "I love you until the day break and the shadows flee away."
So the heat.
The heat is interpreted as his soul countering the cold, tragic violence of his end. It's a physical manifestation of the hope in a song like "A Change Is Gonna Come."
It's like he's still trying to comfort his fans. But then you have the inverse. The other side of the spectrum is Johnny Ace.
Horrific accident. Shot himself backstage on Christmas Eve.
And his grave in Memphis reflects that trauma. It's defined by an oppressive silence. And instead of heat, a sudden localized temperature drop.
A chill that goes right through you.
And there's a sound component too, but it's not music, it's mechanical.
No. People report feeling the psychological pressure and hearing a faint, intermittent, metallic click.
The click, like the trigger.
That's the implication. It echoes the accident. It's a much darker manifestation. If Sam Cooke is hope, Johnny Ace is a reminder of talent cut short. It freezes you in that moment.
Man, that is heavy. Let's pivot to something a bit more organic. Otis Redding.
Round Oak, Georgia. A beautiful setting.
They call it the soul vibration. On misty mornings, if you touch the stone, you supposedly feel a low hum, like a bass note vibrating through it. But the detail that really got me was the dewdrops.
The taste of them.
Yeah, they reportedly taste salty.
Like tears.
Exactly.
It connects the physical environment, the mist, the dew, with the emotional legacy of the artist. It's like the land itself is mourning him.
Sometimes the stone itself tells the story. Sarah Vaughan in New Jersey, she has this blank stone block next to her grave, just blank.
And that emptiness is the symbol. The interpretation is that it represents her voice as her only true partner. And the legend says if you place your hand on that blank stone, you feel a subtle, perfect vibration.
Like a tuning fork.
Exactly. Absolute pitch. Even in stone, the vibration speaks for itself.
We can't talk about physical marks on stone without mentioning Fats Domino. He survived Hurricane Katrina. Barely. And on his tombstone, there's this small indentation that looks like a handprint.
The fossilized handprint. It's interpreted as a mark of his tenacity. He clung to life during the flood, and the belief is that the struggle left a psychic impression on his final resting place.
So it's not about the music there, it's about survival.
It is.
It's amazing how the elements seem to interact with these graves. Nature itself gets involved. Which brings us to our third theme. Tragically beautiful symbols.
Nature often acts as a mirror for these artists' lives.
Take Billie Holiday, St. Raymond Cemetery. Her life was, well, it was full of beauty, but also immense pain.
Yeah.
And her stone reportedly has this razor-thin, knife-like crack running through her name.
And the report is that on windy days, that crack widens just enough to release a cold draft. But you also have the detail of the gardenia petals.
Her signature flower, people leave them.
Yes, but the ones found there often have small indentations in the center.
Like they've been pressed.
Or pinched. It's seen as a sign of her persistent, tragic energy. The beauty of the flower, marred by pressure, it encapsulates her entire biography.
That is haunting. And then there's Jackie Wilson. This one is so specific. He spent 9 years in a coma.
A long, silent wait.
And the lore says if you put red roses on his grave,
They dry up and shrivel exactly after 9 days.
9 days, not 8, not 10.
The 9-year resonance. The botanical life cycle aligns with his tragic timeline. It implies that the cycle is precise, it ends, and he is finally free.
Then you have Dinah Washington. Her plot in New York has this strange duality. Lush flowers on one side, withered weeds on the other.
The botanical truth. It symbolizes her dual nature, the dazzling queen on stage, the flowers, and the sorrowful woman backstage, the weeds. It's a physical representation of the cost of fame.
Nature really doesn't hold back. Mahalia Jackson, the queen of gospel, her grave in Louisiana supposedly has white dove footprints on it.
And the key detail here is that they remain visible even after the stone is professionally cleaned.
They come back.
They come back. It fits her image perfectly. It's a stamp of approval from the divine.
And T-Bone Walker. At night, footprints appear and vanish on the grass.
The ghostly dance. As if he is still performing his signature steps, it suggests the joy of movement doesn't just stop because the heart stops.
Okay, so we've covered sound, physical feelings, and nature, but this next part this is the stuff of treasure hunts, secrets buried beneath the ground.
This is where history and conspiracy theory really start to intertwine. It turns the cemetery into a mystery novel.
Little Willie John, he died in prison, controversially, and the rumor, the forbidden song, is that he was buried with a tape recording of his final song, the one that contained the truth about his death.
And the phenomenon associated with this is an electrical hiss heard on radios near the grave.
Like interference.
Exactly.
Oh.
It's interpreted as the blocked frequency of that tape. The truth is trying to get out, but it's being suppressed by static.
That is like a movie plot. And then you have the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. The source mentions a private account that she was buried with a golden glove.
Embroidered with the word respect.
A golden glove? Why a glove?
It's viewed as a charm, a talisman for success and self-respect. The idea is that it acts as a spiritual battery for anyone visiting who needs that strength. You go there to recharge your dignity.
I love that. And Thelonious Monk, the legend is he was buried with a broken piano stool.
A very specific symbol. Monk's music was all about angular, strange chords. The broke stool represents that inconvenience and imperfection were the secret sources of his genius.
He made the wobbling work for him.
He literally sat on instability to create art.
Now, Gene Ammons. This one is a literal treasure hunt. Legend says if you find a piece of a pipe near his grave,
It leads to a lost jazz tune. It's called the Scattered Pipes. It turns the gravesite into an interactive mystery. You aren't just mourning, you're searching.
and for the songwriters out there, you need to visit Joe Tex in Georgia.
A wet handkerchief,
Yeah, buried with a dark handkerchief that supposedly never dries.
soaked in the tears of the departed soul. The belief is that touching the grave grants songwriting inspiration, a direct transfer of emotional capability.
I might need to make a trip to Georgia. But not all of these graves are about secrets or sadness. Some of them are just defiant.
That brings us to our final theme, monuments of defiance and legacy. These artists took up huge amounts of space in life, and they refused to shrink in death.
Little Richard. You can't imagine him having a modest exit.
And he doesn't. His tombstone in Huntsville is massive. But the detail that matters isn't the size. It's the angle. It is turned away from the main path.
Turned away, so you can't see the name from the road.
Correct. It forces fans to leave the path and seek him out. It's a final act of demanding attention. It says, I'm not coming to you, you come to me.
That is so Little Richard. Even in stone, he's controlling the crowd. And then Bessie Smith. Her story is heartbreaking. An unmarked grave for 30 years.
A historic injustice. Janis Joplin helped pay for the stone. And when she finally got a monument, it featured 2 steps. The bottom for hardship, the top for glory.
And the phenomenon.
They say if you stand on that top step, the glory step, you feel a cold draft and hear a blues echo. You cannot access the glory without first stepping over the hardship. You have to physically enact her struggle.
And finally, Paul Robeson. His stone is a manifesto.
It is. It's an engraving of his choice. The artist must elect to fight for freedom or slavery. It serves as an eternal proclamation. It challenges you. It asks, what are you doing with your life?
It's powerful stuff. So we've looked at the melting trumpet, the salty dew, the hidden tapes. When we zoom out, what is the actual takeaway here?
If we synthesize all this, the pattern is clear. These graves aren't just memorials. They are active sites. We don't want to believe that the art stopped. The legends, the heat, the sounds, they serve as proof that the creative force was too powerful to simply cease.
It's about connection, then.
It's about the refusal to let go. Fans go there seeking inspiration, closure, a blessing. The stories validate that the connection is still real. It turns the cemetery from a place of loss into a place of transaction.
It's the encore that never ends.
Precisely. And there is one final image I want to leave you with.
Oh, which one is that?
Ray Charles. He is at Inglewood Park.
The genius.
There is a phenomenon reported there called sonic sight.
Sonic sight.
Ray Charles navigated the world through sound. Visitors describe closing their eyes at his grave and hearing the ambient sounds. Insects, grass, distant cars, but hearing them in distinct, separated layers.
So it feels like he is lending you his senses.
Exactly. It feels as if Ray Charles is transmitting his way of perceiving the world, his sight, through sound, to the visitor.
Wow. So you literally hear the world through his ears.
It raises a profound question. If you stood there in the silence, are you listening for the past? Or is the genius of the past actually listening to you?
That gives me chills. It really changes how I'm going to look at these history books.
No, it's energy that hasn't found a place to land yet.
Listen, thank you for guiding us through this. It's been a wild ride.
It was a pleasure.
And to you listening, maybe take a closer listen next time you're near a place of history. You never know what might be waiting for you in the silence. Until next time.